to our summer open house. My name is Radia Alawash, and I'm the Senior Director for Undergraduate Admission. I hope you're learning a lot today about what LMU has to offer. We have a nice group of LMU students who are ready to share their experience with you. So we will start with some introductions, and then we will answer your questions. Please use the Q&A feature to ask questions. Thank you. So why don't we start, Brandon?
Everyone, my name is Brendan. I'm a junior journalism major, African-American studies minor. I'm from Delray, California. Normally I have a backdrop of the bluff behind me. It's right down the hill. I am also transferred to the university and transferred in the fall of 2019. A few things I do on campus. I'm involved in athletics as a coordinating producer for our broadcast and sports info department and the play-by-play broadcaster for women's basketball. So that's a little bit about me.
Thank you.
I can go next. Hi, everyone. My name is Kobe. I am a rising junior also, majoring in film, TV, and media studies and double minoring in environmental studies and women's and gender studies. I also have a ton of other on-campus involvements. I am a part of the University Honors Program. I'm actually currently serving as the president for the program. I am also a part of Delta Kappa Alpha, which is our professional cinematic arts fraternity. I, of course, work as a tour guide. I've also worked as a teaching assistant and a research assistant.
Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer and I'm also a rising junior. I'm a computer science major and environmental studies minor here at LMU. Some of the things I'm involved with other than being a tour guide include Camp Cassim at LMU, which is a national nonprofit organization that supports children through and beyond their parents' cancer. I'm also a member of the Association for Computing Machinery, a member of the Delta Zeta sorority, a member of the Society of Women Engineers, a member of the Ignatian Service Organization, a member of Women in Politics, and I will also be an orientation leader in the fall.
Hi everyone, my name is Jordan. I am a senior communication studies major with a minor in dance, and I'm originally from Oakland, California, so up in the Bay Area. And some things I'm involved with at LMU, I am a campus tour guide, of course. This past year, I served as president of Isang Bansa, which is our Filipino-American cultural organization on campus. This past year, I also served on ASLMU, a part of their programming team, and ASLMU is our student government. However, the programming team put on really cool events like concerts and our annual Christmas tree lighting. I'm also a member of Radix Dance Team. I've been an orientation leader for the past 2 years, and I'll be one again in the fall. When we're on campus, I work in the campus mailroom, and I've been in one theater production at LMU.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia. I am originally from Connecticut, so all the way across the country. I'm a rising junior, majoring in international relations with a double minor in urban studies and business administration. Half on the pre-law track, half not. It's a little complicated on my side at the moment. I'm also obviously a tour guide. I'm part of the University Honors Program, the LMU Bali Club, LMU College of Democrats. I'm also part of LMU Women in Politics, where I hold an executive board position of Directors of Resources and Research, LMU Team. I'm in one of our a cappella groups on campus called the Opportunes. I've done some previous work with the Delray Players, our on-campus student-run theater company. December 2019 to January 2020, I did an alternative break trip through LMU Center for Service and Action, where I went to Morocco for 2 weeks and worked with sub-Saharan refugees. So that was the best experience of my life. Periodically off campus, prior to the pandemic, I volunteered at the Coalition for Humane Immigration Rights in Los Angeles and Alma Backyard Farms. This past semester, I did some research with a research mentor from the political science department, and then inadvertently through LMU Study Abroad office, I received my internship that I have this summer, where I'm interning with the European Parliament.
Hi guys, my name is Katie Lazinski. I am a rising senior theater arts major with a public relations minor and a screenwriting minor. I'm originally from Seattle, Washington. Some things that I am involved with on campus: I am a tour guide like all of these lovely people. I am also the orientation coordinator for 2021. Basically means that I am helping to plan orientation for the fall, overseeing all the orientation leaders. I'm also a peer mentor. I'm an active member of Kappa Alpha Theta, which is one of our sororities on campus, and I serve as the VP of Communications and Marketing for our Pan-Hellenic Council. That is the council that oversees all of our sorority life. I'm also a part of APO, which is our Theater Honor Society, and I do a lot of the costumes for the Delray Players, which is our student-run theater, and also some of the costumes for our main stage theater as well. and I have been in one of our main stage theater productions too.
And what's up, everyone? My name is Sam. I am a double major in finance and economics, and I'm also a rising junior, and I'm from the great state of Colorado. On campus, about myself, I'm a part of LMU Men's Club lacrosse team. I'm part of a social fraternity on campus. I'm a member of our interfraternal council, which is essentially the leading government for all of the social fraternities on campus. I'm also the executive director of a charity on campus that focuses on raising awareness for childhood cancer. Very excited for all of you here today. Please let us know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Sam. And the next question is, why did you choose and decide to attend LMU? And we can go in the same order.
So as I mentioned in my introduction, I am a transfer university. So I did not start right away at LMU, although most of my friends and family thought I would. I last minute decided to take a trip out to Chicago and try something different. Needless to say, there was some stuff that I was missing from that experience that LMU provided. And the number one thing to me that I'm sure you're going to hear from a lot of these other panelists is the family atmosphere. A lot of the time you hear about at colleges, there's a community, which is more than true at so many places. But at LMU, it's really a family. And you're going to see that in your classes, when you're just walking around campus, in the activities you're in. And it's not just with the students, it's with the faculty and staff too. Obviously, we've been off campus for a little bit, but what's great about being on campus is that we're running into our supervisors, to Radia, to our other members of our staff, and they're talking to us just like any other students would. And we're having that great interaction and those great connections while we're at LMU. And that extends beyond our time at LMU as well. So really that family atmosphere was the central and the core piece to why I wanted to return to LA and to LMU.
Yeah, so I usually like to say I chose LMU for two main reasons. The first of which was the education. So I have always been someone who has a million different interests. When I was in high school, I was obviously interested in film, but I was in like our science club and our math club, and I really wanted a place where I could explore all these different interests at the same time. LMU has clearly been a great place for me to do that. As I mentioned in my intro, I have like 2 minors that have absolutely nothing to do with my major. It was super easy for me to add those, and I'll graduate on time in 4 years with them. The second reason, Brendan touched on this, and I'm sure you're going to hear this from the other tour guides here, is just the community. I really honestly felt at home from LMU just from my first few days alone on campus.
So I chose LMU for a couple of reasons. The first one was the location. LMU is a beautiful campus. I really hope like you get a chance to go there in person because it's really amazing. And it's in LA in California. I grew up in California and I know I didn't want to leave for college. So like I didn't want to leave California. So LMU was perfect for that. The second reason was the small class sizes. I know I thrive in an environment where I can have a close relationship with my professors and with my classmates, and LMU really ticked all those boxes for me. And the third reason was the people. When I went on my tour, the tour guides were so welcoming and inclusive, and people were stopping like on our tour. Random people would just come up to us and say hello to our tour guides and say hello to us. And it was just a pretty amazing community, and I really wanted to be a part of that. So that's why I chose LMU.
Similar to Jennifer, I also have 3 reasons. But to be fair, LMU was my dream school, so I was kind of a little biased in that area. But my 3 main reasons were the school size, like Jennifer talked about. I feel like it's the perfect Goldilocks size. We're a mid-sized university with about 6,500 students. And so you get to see your friends every day, but you also get to meet new people every day. And it allows for you to have these close relationships with not only just your peers, but your professors. Second reason, like everyone's already mentioned, the community. I can't speak enough about it. I was fortunate enough to do an overnight program during my senior year, and I met all the people who I'm still friends with to this day. And I kind of knew in that moment that I could call these people my family and I could call LMU my home. And it was really nice to have current LMU students want to know more about me and want to know like why I was interested in going there. And then lastly, diversity was a big thing for me. I visited a lot of college campuses and it was hard for me to picture myself anywhere that wasn't as diverse, and LMU had that right on the nose. When I first got there, I noticed so many different people from different walks of life, speaking more than just ethnic diversity, but religious diversity, sexuality. We have people coming from different countries, different states, different walks of life, like I said. So I knew I wanted to be at a university where I could grow and learn from the people around me and have a more open mind. So that's why I'm here.
I will keep it as short and sweet and simple as possible. I chose LMU for three main reasons. First thing being that I've loved volunteering my entire life. That's just something that really brings joy into who I am and into my heart and everything. And I loved that LMU had that atmosphere to partake in those experiences, especially at the magnitude that our student body really does like to volunteer and give back. Second thing is that I'm sure you could tell by all of our introductions, we all love doing as much as possible and things that are totally not related to each other at all. And that's always how I've lived my life all throughout high school. And even before that, I'm pretty sure I drove my parents crazy. But I loved that I'd be surrounded by people who were like-minded in that sense. And I also just loved kind of the part of the Jesuit education with education of the whole person. So really going down all the pathways that interest you. The third thing is that, and I'm going to try and make this as simple as possible, LMU is a competitive school, but it's not cutthroat. And I try and say that to everyone because you're never going to be in a classroom next to your peers and think that they're going to like kick you when you're down, take an opportunity away from you, trip you up, whatever those phrases are. It's kind of this, and this is not going to be grammatically correct by any means, so I apologize. It's kind of this collectiveness feeling of competing against yourself. So everyone on campus is competing to be a better version of who they were yesterday, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, everything like that. And it's this holistic togetherness support system and feeling that you have where everyone is encouraging you to do that while doing that themselves. I'm not sure if that made any sense, but thank you. But those are the three main reasons why I kind of chose LMU.
Yeah, I chose LMU for, I mean, literally all the same reasons as a lot of other people. But my main reason was I just wanted a university that saw me as a person, as an individual, and not just as a number. So I really loved the personalization of the careers and the internship opportunities and even the classes. Like everybody has touched on, I was able to add on minors in different areas of study in different colleges really easily, and I was able to connect with my professors who are working professionals in this in the industry that I want to work in. And they were able to connect me with so many different opportunities and also just give me knowledge that extends way past the textbook. So for me, it was just I wanted a university that I didn't have to fight to be involved. I could just walk right on campus and jump into clubs, organizations, job opportunities, internships. And I found that in LMU. And on top of that, I found the best community of individuals you'll ever meet in your life. And something that I think that you'll see on this panel is that we're all just very outgoing, fun individuals who just push you out of your comfort zone and make you a better person. So that was just something that really stuck out to me on my tour and something that has kept me at LMU today.
The main reason I chose LMU is for opportunities. And if you've ever been to LMU, you know LMU has an amazing view called the Bluff, is what we call on campus. But essentially this view has an entire 180-degree view of all of Los Angeles. And on the left side, you have the Pacific Ocean. On the right side, you have all the way into the Hollywood sign. And everything in that view serves as a metaphor as what LMU brings to the table. And that is when I decided to choose LMU, is where I looked at the Bluff, because from the Bluff, you see Fortune 500 companies, a lot of them being YouTube, Google, IMAX, some very top Fortune 500 companies in the world. And they come to LMU first because of our proximity. And because of that, I chose LMU. And you probably have heard everyone else speak about their internship experiences, their volunteer experiences, their shadowings, whatever it is. And it's really just a testament to be our location and proximity to all of that. And so I chose LMU, and I could not be greater for all the opportunities that have come my way to help aid in my career.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam. The next question is, could you speak towards double majors and adding minors? When do you do that? Do you have the flexibility? Things like that. Whoever wants to jump in.
I can start with this one because I am a double major, but I would like to say I came to LMU with a completely different major and thought in mind. I thought I was going to go the political science route. I don't know why, but I was like, I'm going to go the political science route. And I took my very first semester, 3 political science classes. And in the first 2 weeks, I was like, oh boy, I am not meant for this at all. And so essentially what happened was I realized, what do I value? What do I need to know? And so I went to speak with my advisors, and they're like, Sam, you like math. Let's put you in this math heavy degree in all of that. And so essentially with what I am now, I could not be more happy in double majoring in finance and economics in both two different colleges at LMU. And the process was so easy. My advisor walked through my steps. They helped figure out what I want and don't want. And most importantly, they helped me realize that I'm still going to be able to graduate in 4 years and I don't need to take additional classes.
Thank you.
I can jump in after really quick too, just to talk about minors, because a lot of people I know do have double majors, but also if you don't want to fully commit to an additional major, minors are great options. Again, they're super easy to add. I would say, like, personally, of the people I know at LMU, probably like 60% or more have minors. Typically, especially in our liberal arts college, these tend to be only about like 4 or 5 classes per minor. So really you can knock them out in a few semesters alone. I currently have 2 minors that are outside of my field. Again, it was super easy to add them. And it's also super easy to drop them. So again, if you commit to a minor, you don't have to like stick to it. I was actually also formerly a political science minor. I took one class, decided it wasn't really for me, and dropped it no problem.
Thank you. The next question is, how much is religion a part of your education experience at LMU?
I guess I can talk about this a little bit. You don't have to be Catholic to go to our school. I think that's something that I always try and emphasize to people, especially when a school does have a religious kind of affiliation. The only requirements that you have are 2 theology courses, a lower division and an upper division, and that's a wide variety of classes that you have to choose from. There's world religion, Old Testament, New Testament, Buddhism classes, atheism classes, Jewish classes, everything like that. So it really is any way to kind of tap into your spiritual side or your religious side while you're at LMU. Again, emphasizing that Jesuit ideal of education of the whole person. And it's as much give or take as you want to. Those are the only 2 requirements. There's no mass requirements, no religious service requirements, nothing like that. So it's really any way that you can kind of fit that in and really explore that part of your personality and that part of who you are.
Thank you, Julia. We have several students who are asking about time management, especially during your first year. So how do you balance your classes, your activities, your being involved in sports, or maybe volunteering, and planning your career and your 4 years from the beginning? How do you do that?
Yeah, so I can hop in here. I think the one thing they don't tell you about college is how much free time you actually have in between your classes. Sometimes you'll have days with no classes, and so it's really hard actually trying to figure out what to do. And so, like most of us here, we all got jobs, we're all involved in all these different clubs and stuff. And so I think what's best, especially during that first year, is like sit down and think about all of the opportunities that you want to take advantage of, whether that's working on campus, whether that's planning your career, whether that's joining a club or joining a dance team, and figuring out what you want to do, because it's all possible at LMU. And then working on your time management during those first few weeks, especially with classes and homework, and also social time, which is very important in college, which I think also took up a lot of time. And so I think everyone's going to have a different schedule. Everyone's going to be different, but I think prioritizing your time with what you came to LMU for is going to be what helps you the best. So I prioritize my time with extracurriculars. So I got involved in a bunch of clubs, and that's how I filled up my time and kind of managed that with my classes. So yeah.
Yeah, to quickly add on to that, one amazing thing about LMU is that there's offices and support to help you with all of this time management. And so if you're looking to get involved, your very first few days at LMU as a first-year student, you get to join LMU EXP, which is where all the registered student organizations, clubs, sports, everything that Radia talked about is there to help students figure out how to get involved and help figure out how to be involved, what they want, how to plan everything Jordan was talking about. And so you don't need to do all the heavy lifting. LMU does it for you. And for your career and internships, the Career and Professional Development Office is there to provide you with resume, cover letter support, help you get in contact with companies and alumni. And so there's lots of support just to help you be able to figure out those goals and everything you want to do while being at LMU and still being able to have time for everything else.
Thank you, Sam. And I guess I just want to add that you don't have to join everything and do everything the first year. There's a lot of time that's given to exploration. So we're encouraging students to check out different clubs, check out different organizations before they have to commit. You don't have to do everything the first week. I would say that's my advice. But here's the next question that focuses on theater productions. Can you speak towards your and Katie, I think that's for you, but can you speak towards your experience in being involved in theater productions? And maybe if you're not a theater major, can you get involved?
Absolutely. I know Jordan's been in a show as well. But yes, you can be involved in theater. One thing I love about theater at LMU is that it is open to anybody and everybody who wants to be a part of it. So we have 7 full productions each year. One's going to be a musical, one's going to be a classical play. The rest are going to be contemporary plays or staged readings, and anybody can audition for those. So that can be, we just did In the Heights. One of our leads was a business major. I think one of them was an economics major. Jordan was a part of the cast. She's not a theater major. So basically anybody can be a part of these shows. And I mean, as a theater major, that means that, you know, there's a lot more competition, but it also means that, like, we know that you don't have to want to do theater for the rest of your life to want to be a part of the show. But if you are a theater major too, like, and you want to be a part of the show the first day you get on LMU's campus, the week that you arrive at LMU is when we have our first round of auditions. So you can literally be the star of a show your first semester, which is really cool. We also have the Delray Players, which is our student-run theater. My freshman year, I decided not to audition for the main stage shows. I was like, I need to get acclimated to the school first, join clubs, stuff like that. So I didn't do that, but I ended up getting involved with the Delray Players, and I did all the costumes. I've never costumed a show before, but it's a completely student-run theater, and they needed a costume designer. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to try my best. And I bought a sewing machine, and it was awesome. And I got to costume that show. I costumed 2 more shows after that. I just costumed one of our main stage shows. So it was just a great learning experience to also get to know a ton of people who love theater and get involved in a show that's not super competitive or like super high stakes, and learn a new craft. And so, yeah, our theater department is fantastic, and I highly recommend auditioning for the shows.
Thank you, Katie. The next question is about the academic environment at LMU. Is it competitive or collaborative? If a couple of you can answer, because it can depend, I know, on the college. So
yeah, I can start with just a general overview. So I think Julia put it really well when she's like, the most competitive part about it is like competing with yourself to just, you know, constantly be better. I would definitely say it's absolutely collaborative overall. I don't know if anyone else wants to speak on a specific college that they're in, but I'll just start talking about like film and the arts at LMU. Honestly, it's like probably the most collaborative environment I've ever been a part of is LMU's film school. Something I was really nervous about coming to college was having a very competitive film school. I had heard, you know, kind of horror stories of, you know, different colleges where students will, you know, step on each other to get space on sets and stuff like that, and camera equipment. LMU is not like that at all. What's nice is that I think we all kind of have this understanding that we're all in the same boat, really, no matter what major you are at LMU. So you're never really going to be competing against each other. And also, I think just the size of LMU, given that we are a medium to smaller size university, like, you know everyone. You don't want to be mean to the people you're going to be seeing in our coffee shops and stuff like that. You're going to want to help each other out and be nice and like create a good environment.
Yeah, I can speak for all the business majors, and one thing, it's very collaborative. Recruiting season for all business majors starts July 1st, and so a bunch of my friends and I had like a little Zoom party where we're reviewing resumes, opportunities, everything, and just sharing the wealth of knowledge. And it was just so much fun to be able to pull ideas from one person and share my own personal thoughts on what I believe in. It was just having that collaborative space makes me feel so much more confident walking into this recruiting season and having all the best opportunities come our way. And I feel like we're working as a team together, not only as me working as an individual. So just having that small moment of being collaborative, not only in the classroom, but for our future careers as well, is something that is like lifelong connections.
thank you. The next question is, what is your favorite on and off campus activity? So both, maybe an example for both.
I can start. Most people know me as the sports fanatic around here. I do work in athletics, but I also love attending sports. And I want to squash a quick notion. When you hear about sports at LMU, unfortunately, we do not have football. But what is so fantastic about that is that we're able to put our support and our resources into a wide array of sports at LMU. And you're going to see that in the play on the field as well. Because we're not a massive university, you're able to get free tickets really close up to these games with really high level athletes. A lot of our teams are going to the NCAA tournament. and places that you're watching on TV at home all the time. So it's really cool to get to be a part of that environment and enjoy sports at an intimate yet very, very competitive level. So that's one of my favorite things at LMU.
Another on-campus activity that I love is there's a group called Main Entertainment, and they put on the coolest events I've ever been to. And it's really nice because I didn't have a car my first year. So on a Friday night, I didn't really want to go out. And so Main Entertainment would always have really cool events. Just to name a few, they've brought in roller rinks and ice rinks to to the middle of our campus. There was an event that was called Dogs and Donuts, and it had dogs and donuts. They had a Bob Ross painting party event where we all got to paint on a canvas. They provided all the supplies. They've had a pumpkin patch. They had a cake decorating party. We've had several bachelors come through and do meet and greets and Q&As. We've had Tan France from Queer Eye, a bunch of different celebrities. And each Monday they have open mic night. And so they make sure that no one is ever bored on campus. And I really appreciated their events. Even up until my sophomore year, I was still going to them because they're so fun. And yeah, that's some on-campus fun stuff to do.
Main Entertainment also does these things called Off the Bluff, where they will provide you transportation to and from various places. So I did a trip to Disneyland. I went to a Dodgers game. I had tickets to go see Hamilton before quarantine. But at least Disney Plus came through with that recording. But yeah, they had all these different opportunities for us, and they're very cheap opportunities for students. And even the things that I just named, we are in the prime location for if you have a car or you want to Uber or pay for a Zip car, and go explore Disneyland, Universal. I have a Universal pass. It's very cheap if you're a California resident. So I will just go on like a Tuesday afternoon and do one ride, get some butterbeer and head home. So that just shows that we're in the coolest location. Going up in Seattle, I was like kind of bored on most weekends, and I'm not bored in LA. There's just so much stuff to do. Beaches, museums, theme parks, you name it, we got it.
Thank you. The next question is about our residence halls. So can you speak towards the on-campus housing opportunities, maybe also the variety that we have?
I can start off with this question because I'm a very big fan of on-campus housing, and being an out-of-state student, I came from an area where I knew no one, and because LMU prioritizes first-year students and puts them all in the same area, I instantly met so many people. So for all the first years living on campus, about 94% of all first years live on campus. And with that being said, it's just an amazing community because they're all kind of in the same area. So we walk to class together. So if you see a fellow first year that you might have talked before, you walk all the way to the other end of campus with them, just spurring conversation because you're going to and from the same area. So it's just a really great way to meet people and network while living in the same areas. And just to talk about housing for upperclassmen, you are guaranteed your first 2 years of housing. So your first year and sophomore level housing. And then it is a lottery pool for junior and senior level apartment style housing. So we do have 2-bedroom apartments if you do want to live on campus, and fingers crossed that when I do go back senior year, I will be able to live in one of those amazing on-campus apartments that have a multi-million-dollar view for the price tag of student housing. So that's super exciting.
Thank you. Can you speak about our the sororities, fraternities at LMU, what that life is like?
I can take this one. I'm an active member of Kappa Alpha Theta, which is one of our sororities on campus. So we do all of our recruitment in the spring. So that gives you an entire whole semester to work your schedule, get acclimated to college life, join clubs, and see if our sorority and fraternity life is right for you. We have 6 sororities and 8 fraternities. And about 25% of our population actually does do our sorority and fraternity life. So it's not the biggest part of our social scene, but however, it is a large enough group of individuals where I didn't know a single person, not a single person in my 150-person sorority when I joined. So it was a really great way for me to meet a diverse group of leading women who all kind of share the same goals as I do. And we do not have a Greek row, so we do not have housing off campus for sorority and fraternity life. All of your meetings, your weekly chapter meetings, are going to be on campus. Same with all of your charity events that you guys throw. We do about 2 semester. Each org does their own 2. And then we also have date nights and formals that are off campus, and you will be provided transportation there and back. So you'll be bused there, bused back. And it's really about what you put into it is what you get out of it. So, you can be one of those people that just goes to a weekly meeting, meets a couple of girls, goes to the dances, and you don't do a ton of stuff. Or you could be planning the dances. You could be planning our charity events. You can be a part of, like, I'm a part of the Pan-Hellenic Council, which is helping to run all the different sororities. So it's really about what you put in is what you get out of it, and you don't have to be intensely involved. It doesn't have to be your life, or it can be. It's really up to you.
And I'll just add on really quick to talk about professional fraternities. So we do have a few on LMU's campus. Although these are called fraternities, they're actually gender inclusive. So for example, I'm a part of Delta Kappa Alpha, which is a professional cinematic arts fraternity. Essentially, these are a way for you to both expand your social circle and like develop yourself professionally. So for me, it's been a great way to like make a lot of really good friends, but also get a lot of great like internship advice and work advice and stuff like that. I am actually currently working for a film festival right now, and I actually got that internship through a friend in that fraternity. So those are a really great way for if you want to like try out fraternity life, but maybe get a little more focused towards your career.
Thank you. The next question is about working on campus. How is the process in finding a job on campus? How soon were you able to find a job when you started at LMU?
So I was able to get my job on campus in athletics from day one. Actually, it was even before school started. We're just now moving to a brand new platform called Workday from a bunch of old platforms. So we're still learning exactly what that will look like for us. But basically, supervisors across campus will post. They have jobs that they're hiring for, and they're constantly being updated each and every day. Just alone in the department that I oversee, we're hiring 60 plus students a year. And that's just one small department within athletics, which is a smaller part of the university. So it just speaks to how many jobs there are across campus, both work study and T-work, which is for you, where departments just pull directly from their budget. You don't have to have work study for it. So there's plenty of opportunities both to get a job where it's an entry-level job, or others, if you have experience, they may be hiring a manager or a supervisor or a higher level leadership position that you can be a part of. So really, if you're looking for it, you can seek it out and speak with your professors and other staff members across campus, because they may create a job just from you being interested in wanting to do something on campus.
Thank you. I don't know who can take this question, but sorry, Julia, were you going to say something? Okay. What is the process for getting on the dance team like, and what is the atmosphere like?
Yeah, so I can take this one. So along with being a dance minor, I'm also on a dance team called Radix. So there are 3 student-run dance teams. We have Radix, the Collective, and I can't remember the other one. They just changed their name, but there's 3, and these are all kind of like street style dance, and it's student run. So you get to do your own choreography, and it's a really great way to meet new people. And there are auditions once a semester for each of these dance crews. I auditioned, I think, twice my first year, and then I finally got on my third try audition. But overall, it's been one of the best communities to be in. I love being able to dance, especially because the dance minor itself does have a lot of hip hop or street style. And so these dance crews are a great way to get that in. We do a lot of workshops for people who also aren't on the team. So we'll always have open workshops where you can bring your friends, learn from new choreographers. And along with those 3 dance teams, we also have 2 teams under athletics. We have a spirit squad and a cheer squad. The spirit squad does more dance. The cheer squad does more stunts and typical cheers. And so those are about 5 ways to get involved with the dance team. And then if you have been dancing, I do recommend the dance minor. There's no audition required, so that's why I did it. And you get to have all the access to the facilities, to the professors, to all the dance equipment. It's really amazing. So yes.
Thank you. What about service orgs, so service organizations and other service opportunities? Can you get involved, and what are they?
I can speak a little bit to this one. So LMU has 10 service organizations, which are specific to LMU. You won't really find them at any other schools. And these are service organizations that have a specific service focus. I think we have one that's like focuses on homelessness, and one that focuses on food insecurity. There's one that focuses on kids, and then I think we have like human trafficking and environmental justice. So there are a whole bunch of different options. I'm personally involved with the Ignatian Service Organization. And that is, I think, our only service organization that doesn't have a specific focus. So I can like pretty much pick whatever I want to do for my service hours, which range from like beach cleanups to walking dogs and hanging out with cats, like a local animal rescue. You can hang out with children and do after school tutoring. Like there's a whole wide range of opportunities, and you don't have to be involved with a service organization in order to take part in these. You can just do it through the Center of Service and Action. Like if you just go up to them and be like, hey, I want to do service, they will find you an opportunity. So there's a bunch of different service opportunities at LMU.
Yeah, and I'll just add on to this too. Again, we have a ton of smaller clubs and organizations that are not service orgs too that do focus on doing service. We also have a living learning community on campus, which has a focus on doing service. It is run by our Center for Service and Action. So that's a great way to get involved too. I am also involved with a smaller club called CRIME, which stands for Caring Radically in Marginalized Environments. Essentially, it is a service coalition that is focused on doing service for queer and trans people of color on LMU's campus and around the LA area. And it was actually started over the summer of this last year while we were virtual. So essentially a couple of my friends just got together and they wanted to start this club, and then they were able to do it. So I think that also just goes to show too that if there's a certain type of service project or some type of service goal you want to complete while at LMU, and there's not an organization that already exists to do that, you can start it. Starting a club is really easy at LMU. It just takes you and a couple other students, and typically you can get funding too for any projects you want to do.
Thank you. Next question is about teaching assistants. Are classes led by teaching assistants rather than professors?
I can take this question. I'm going to be honest, I have never once met a teaching assistant at LMU. They're only led by professors, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I've never had a teaching assistant for a class. I don't even think in the business school there are teaching assistants. It's all professors based. So it's really incredible just to be able to hear from the professors, learn from them, and have that self-taught learning as well.
So I do work as a teaching assistant, so I can add on to this too. Nice to meet you, Sam. So yeah, really what teaching assistants are there for is just to assist the professor. So typically when you do have classes that have teaching assistants, they aren't going to be like leading the class. It's not like the professor is just going to sit back and let them take the reins. Typically when that does happen, it will literally just be for like 1 week out of the entire semester. A lot of professors that do have teaching assistants tend to just like want to allow the teaching assistant, to have like one class period where they get to like take the reins in order to give them some good experience, looking forward. A lot of teaching assistants do end up wanting to be professors in the long run. So that's, one of the main reasons for that. Again, though, teaching assistants, working as a teaching assistant is also a great way to really make a lot of good connections at LMU. So I definitely recommend it. Again, you're not going to be leading a lot of classes or anything. It's more so for you to make a lot of good connections with professors and also help current LMU students.
Thank you. Okay, next question is about food, but let me, maybe it's been a while, but what is your opinion about food, meals, but also speak to the variety and where do you go?
I can start off with this question, just give like a general overview. And I know everyone has their own favorite restaurant or eatery on campus, but essentially I give LMU's 5-star for university dining. It is absolutely delicious. And being home during quarantine and then not being at LMU this past year has been so difficult, not being able to see LMU community, but really the most difficult thing was not being able to experience the food. There is such a variety of different options, whether you want to eat in our dining hall eateries. We have about 8 to 10 different options in both of our dining halls on campus, but we also have numerous different restaurants on campus as well. And so there's such a variety that makes me just love it so much, because one day I can eat one type of food and then the next day change it up, and I never have to go back to those 2 same restaurants for the entire month. And so it's just something that I truly love, and I love it so much that it's better than my parents' own cooking.
And does anyone wants to nuance that a bit and give us some more options?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite places on campus is our fancy sit-down restaurant called the Crimson Lion. It's so nice. Like you walk in, you already feel like you're in a different place. You don't feel like you're on a college campus. Really nice restaurant that has steak and shrimp and chicken wings, and you can get a 3-course meal finished with a dessert. And so it's really nice. Like if you and your friends ever just want to go out for dinner, but you're like me and didn't have a car, I would go to the Crimson Lion. And so like Sam was saying, I think you never get tired of the food. I think there's so many options to keep you going. I could eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner all within the same spot and never really get tired. And like Sam said, I'm totally missing the chicken tenders right now. I'm missing all the LMU food so much. So I can't wait to get back to it.
Okay, thank you. Let me ask this question about the religious affiliation, and if you feel will you feel out of place at LMU without having any religious affiliation or affiliating with another religion? So I just want to be specific, like let's say someone is not Christian, would they feel comfortable?
I can hop in again. I personally am not religious. And I don't really participate in any religious activities. I did choose LMU because of the Jesuit values, and I felt like those values really personally aligned with my own values. So no, you will not feel out of place. Like Julia said earlier, there's not a lot of requirements that involve being religious. And so I think it's been a great time being at LMU, but still while focusing on those Jesuit values, because like we mentioned earlier, there are big emphases on education and service and justice. So I think that's where I really get that kind of sense of spirituality from, is from those Jesuit values. But no, you'll never feel out of place. It's kind of like up to you and how you want spirituality to take a role in your life. So if you are religious, we have tons of opportunities to get involved, ranging from campus ministry. They put on all of our masses. We also have the Well, which is for our Protestant students. We have Hillel for Jewish students, and we also have Muslim student life. So if you are practicing religion, there's tons of opportunities to get involved. But if you are not, don't worry about it. There's other ways to get involved, and it's not a huge part. It doesn't have to be a huge part of your life at LMU.
Thank you. Do professors have flexible office hours, and how accessible are professors?
Yeah, I can start with this. Your professors at LMU are incredibly accessible, almost to a point where I'm like, wow, you're really answering my email at this hour of the night. That's incredible. So what I also love about them, and I'm sure someone else can speak specifically about office hours, but one thing I specifically love about getting to go in and chat with professors is it doesn't always have to be about class. They're really invested in getting to know you as a person. And so what's great is they'll have set office hours you can go to, but a lot of professors also have an open door policy where if they're in their office and they have some free time to chat, maybe they're just getting some busy work done, they'll leave their door open and you can just pop in and chat with them. You can sit down, chat about class, chat about the homework, or maybe chat with them about what you're doing at work. They're really there to support you, and they know that as much as they would love for you to devote your entire life to their class, they understand that you are a lot more than just that one class. And so they're really invested in getting to know you and what makes you up, because that's what you're going to bring to the classroom each and every day. So just know that your professors are there, reach out to them, go to them, hang out with them. It's a great time getting to know your professors for sure.
I would say it's about being proactive, definitely, and reaching out. The next question is, does LMU take mental health into consideration during finals or throughout the year? So I want to take it the next level. If I understand this question correctly, it's about how do you manage stress, anxiety during very stressful time like finals, but what about the rest of the year? What's available for students if they're feeling they need some support?
I can start with this one. So we have something called our student psychological services and also our student health services. So student psychological services, we have therapists who you can do weekly appointments with. So you can meet with them every week, same therapist. You could also do group therapy appointments. They also have like anxiety yoga groups that meet and different things like that. They also have walk-in appointments. So if you are just having a bad day and you need to speak with somebody, you can just walk right into the office and meet with a therapist right then. And then we also have our campus dog. His name is Buster, and he's the sweetest, and he lives in student psychological services. So even if you don't want to talk to a therapist, but you just need some comfort from an animal, you grew up around animals, you can actually just go up to student psychological services, go pet him, or even take him for a walk. You could sign up to walk him at the same time every week. So that's available to you. During finals week and during midterms week, we also have different therapy options for like that are right outside of our library usually. So we'll have therapy goats come. We also had therapy dogs one year. I know that they've also handed out like free food and cookies. And we also have something called Wellness Wednesdays, which happens every single week on Lawton Plaza. And that's just a little mini farmers market, but it's also a time to check in with yourself. And there's always people that are handing out different flyers and asking just how your day is going. Do you need anything? Do you need any emotional support, any advising? And they'll set out like hammocks and bean bags and play good music. So that's a good way to just grab some food and kind of take a minute during the week to check in with yourself and check in with your peers.
Thank you. And I think this is the last question. What are you most looking forward to when we return to campus in the fall?
I would say the food and the people. I miss both of those things so much. I think what we can all kind of attest to is just that feeling of walking around campus and saying hi to 10 people just on your way to class. And like that's that community feeling that I miss. And it's, it's been hard being at home, but I think I'm going to be really excited to see all my friends again and see just random people who I have classes with.
For me, I would definitely say the many on-campus traditions that we have. So one of really cool tradition that we have is our birthday fountain. So if you have a birthday between August through May and the clock strikes midnight, you will get thrown into that fountain. Katie can attest to this. She has been thrown in against her own will as well. But it's just an amazing tradition we have. And I'm looking forward to my 21st birthday happening the first week of school. And I'm so excited to be thrown in. And I'm willing to jump in if no one's going to throw me in. That's how ready I am.
Very nice. Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I live in LA, so I've been absorbing the sun already. But just like Jordan said, getting to absorb that sun outside with the community at LMU and just getting to sit back and relax in all the beautiful space that we have. Because it's been sad not getting to enjoy all of that, even though we've had Zoom with our peers. It's just not the same. So getting to take that time for myself outside with the community that I love is something that I'm really looking forward to.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, student panel. You've been amazing. Thank you, guests. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. And we have, I think, one more session. And don't hesitate to reach out to us at admission@lmu.edu. Thank you.